These are division winner prices. And Brady and I will try and figure out if there are any decent bets on here for each of the divisions. These are at Caesars. Of course, we'll start with the AFC East, where the Buffalo Bills suffered their second loss, but I feel fine about the Bills' future because the Patriots are in second place in that division at 2-4. And Josh Allen pointed out that last year they lost going into the bye and came out and won the rest of their games. And he seemed very confident that this team will bounce back. Their schedule's easy. They're minus 2,000 to win the division. The Patriots are 12-1, Dolphins 30-1, and the Jets 150-1. I cannot envision a bet on this division. And I do think the Bills are still the best team in the AFC.
I don't think it's even close. I think it'd be hard to imagine a scenario where, maybe if Josh Allen gets hurt, but even with the weapons, the team, and the way Trubisky looked at a short stint and preseason, I probably think they still would win the division at that point. So not placing any bets. There's just no value in the Bills at minus 2,000. Sorry to say that for all you Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots fans, but that's just the reality of it. No value there whatsoever.
Yep. No value whatsoever. Bills good. Other teams bad. The AFC North might present a little bit of value. Ravens at 5-1 are minus 260. Your Cleveland Browns, plus 375. Man, they are banged up as hell. The Bengals 10-1.
Yeah, let's just get into it. And then the Steelers are plus 1,800. So the weird thing is the Browns and Steelers are tied right now for the division. They both sit at 3-3. I have no idea, and especially as banged up as the Browns are, why you wouldn't just go with the Steelers. There's much better value there. They still have a roster that I think can surprise you by the end of the season. They haven't played great at all by any means. Like I don't even know if they played good this year. And then plus they had a young offensive line. We knew that was going to be a work in progress. If they start picking things up, like they might actually slide right into that spot where you say, okay, I just laid down, $100 and look what I'm netting back. So.
Well, and importantly, the Steelers haven't played the Ravens yet, which is bad because the Ravens are good, but it's good because you can in theory, you can knock off 2 games off that Ravens lead immediately with those 2 games.
Yeah, and I think you also can hedge there, right? And you can actually play the favorite and play the Steelers, and you're going to come out on top regardless, no matter what. The other thing I would do is, though, I'd place a little money on the Bengals. They're sitting in second place. And so why not? They played really well. They've got some budding pieces. And so I think there's value there at 10-1 or plus 1,000. So why not? I think honestly, you could hedge your bet, throw a little money on both Steelers, Bengals. Your net coming back would be fantastic compared to the Ravens. So at that point, you have to be careful about how much you lay down. But again, there's enough value there to make sense for that sort of bet where you're going to come out winning regardless.
Yeah, I don't mind. Now, the thing about the Bengals bet is the Bengals play the Ravens this week. So you just have to be cognizant that if the Ravens win, and the Ravens, I believe it's in Baltimore. If the Ravens win, then you're not going to like your 10-1 bet. So it's the problem. Because it's going to drop to like 25 to 1.
You have to feel good about where the Bengals are at, bottom line. You have to feel good about where the Bengals are at. The fact that the Ravens, even though they dominated on the scoreboard, the Chargers, I think you saw some weaknesses, right? For sure. At least offensively with the way they played. So you have to be all in on the Bengals at that point because of how this week's going to work out.
Yeah. Well, I guess my point is if you want to potentially wait, if you think the Ravens win this week,
you could wait a week.
The
problem is you're not going to get the same value.
But if you think
you're not going to get
if you think the Bengals are going to win,
worse value. Yeah.
It'll be 3-1 at best. Yeah.
Right.
You bet it now. Exactly. Okay, moving to the AFC South. The Titans, with their win over the Bills, move to minus 400. Can't bet that. The Colts are 3. I mean, you can, but you're
get to it. Keep going.
The Colts are 3-1. The Jaguars are 80-1, and the Texans are 150-1.
Lay some money on the Texans. Why not? Right?
No, stop it. They lost by 60.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you don't see that almost ever, and there's no shot. So.
This
one's
tough
tough
week
for me.
6, Brady, and they're 150-1 to win the division.
This one, to me, I think the only way you lay a bet here is the Colts. And that's because of how Carson Wentz has played the last few weeks. He's taking better care of the football. They seem to be coming along. You've got plus value there. but that's the only one that makes any sense. Jaguars, Texans have no shot, and there's obviously no value with the Titans at minus 400. So I think you could find better bets to make in other divisions.
I agree with that. The Colts and the Titans play in 2 weeks, and if the Titans win that game, this division is more or less over because they'll have that tiebreaker. And of course, they'll extend their lead. The Colts are 2 games back. I would probably like a little bit more than 3-1. Maybe 5-1 would be nice for that Colts, but I agree that is the only available bet in that division. The AFC West may, however, offer some value. The Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, who, mind you, are in dead last, tied with the Denver Broncos at 3-3, but just 1 game back of the Los Angeles Chargers. Well, 1.5 because the Chargers currently hold the tiebreaker over them. The Chiefs are plus 110 to win the division. The Chargers plus 140, Raiders 8-1, and Broncos 13-1. As I said on some show over the last 48 hours or some podcast, go bet the Chiefs. Right?
You have to. You have to.
Plus money.
Plus odds for the Chiefs, as bad as their defense has been, as much as they turn the football over. Are you serious? You have to play the Chiefs here. It's a no-brainer for me at plus 110. Unless you're in love with Justin Herbert and the Chargers, okay, I could maybe see that argument. But I just think you can get the Chiefs now at plus 110. You're never the rest of the season. I don't think these odds are going to get any better or more in favor for you. You're only going to start seeing minus odds. So
you might not see this you might not see this for the rest of Mahomes' career.
I mean, that's a little over the top.
Okay.
Because his career, we think he's always going to be at the Chiefs, but you never know.
No, I know. I'm just saying that, like, getting the Chiefs at plus money to win the division when they're 1.5 games back of the Chargers and still have to play the Chargers is a good value. The Chiefs' schedule is not. It's a little odd. So they're at the Titans this week, and then Monday Night Football they host the Giants. You would think that's 2-2, but worst case 1-1. Host the Packers the week after that. At the Raiders the week after that on, I think, Sunday Night Football. And then they have the Cowboys and Broncos at home over the next 6 games. I mean, if I were scheduling out the Chiefs, I would probably say worst case 4-2 there.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like
they'll, maybe they split with the Packers and the.
I think you have to look at the fact that they're a game and a half back and they played awful. Like this actually might be. I think is this fair to say that it's the worst stretch of football with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs since he's gotten there. Like this has been the worst stretch of football they've played. He's already thrown more interceptions than the past 2 seasons, damn near combined at this point. I mean, give it a few more games the way they're going right now, but it's the worst stretch they've had, and they're only a game and a half back, and you get plus odds here. It makes all the sense in the world. I don't think you'd have to debate it any longer.
Yeah, I don't either. I would say I'm just gonna keep pounding that. Like please keep betting that. The NFC East, Dallas Cowboys are minus 800. The Eagles 10-1, WFTs 13-1, and the Giants 40-1. I have a difficult time. I would guess maybe with Dak being in a walking boot after the final play of that Patriots game, you could find something to stab at here, but the Cowboys look so much better than all these other teams. I can't talk myself into betting on anything in this division.
There's no value here whatsoever. Even if Dak's hurt, I still think they'll be able to overcome, or just because of how bad everyone else is. The Giants and their start, the Washington football team where they're at right now, it's bad, and I feel bad because I know Debo's a big Eagles fan, a big Philly guy, but it's just I'm not saying they're like hopeless or anything like that, but depending on how the rest of the season goes, which is essentially a trial for Jalen Hurts, they could be looking for another quarterback next year. With that fan base, knowing how it is, it could go downhill quick. So
Debo is actually not an Eagles fan the rest of the year. He is a anti-Dolphins fan the rest of the year because he wants that draft pick to be he wants the number 1 overall pick courtesy of the Dolphins. He's hoping to get it. By the way,
what's crazy to me? Go to the next division because
I was just going to say that even at 10-1 and 13-1 are not good odds because both of those teams are 3 games back of first place,
right? And
all 3 teams that are not the Cowboys have a negative point differential.
Oh yeah, that's big,
very big. NFC North, the Packers minus 700, the Vikings 6.5-1, Bears 16-1, and Lions 50-1. That is way too short.
Okay.
That's way too short for the Lions.
Are the Lions and Texans that far apart?
The Texans are much more likely to win their division than the Lions.
I mean, then maybe you should lay a bet on the Texans, right? Like
that could be Brady. That could be a typo. It could be 500-1, and it's just a typo. Like that. That would make more sense.
All right. I was going to say, like, I don't know if maybe it is a typo. Debo, can we double check, confirm this? Because I'm looking at going, that is not worth even close to the value what it should be if you wanted to bet on the Lions, even though you'd be crazy to do so. I don't really see much value in this division either. Actually, I will say this about the Vikings.
Confirmed. It is in fact a typo. It's 500-1.
Okay, thank you. That makes way more sense. All right, forget that. Just delete this from the podcast. We even had this conversation.
In fairness to Debo, it would seem to be impossible.
It's a lot of zeros.
500.
It's a lot of zeros.
He's 501 6 weeks into the season to win the division. That is insane.
Maybe you lay the bet then. No. So the Vikings defense is playing better. I mean, I guess you could say there's some value there. I don't know. I don't see anyone taking over the Packers right now. I mean, Rodgers seemed to got his mojo back after whatever the hell happened week 1. And I don't know. It's not worth any value there on this play. I think there's, maybe some better value as we get to some of the other NFC divisions. This is not that one.
Yep, I agree. And if you look at now, here would be the one argument. The Packers have the Washington football team this weekend, then play at the Cardinals on a short week. So that's kind of a look ahead spot a little bit for them and for the Cardinals. And then have the Chiefs in Arrowhead the following week, the Seahawks, and then at Vikings and Rams at home. Golly. If you're going to make I think they'll beat Washington pretty handily. Well, I'm just saying, I mean, like I said, it's a look ahead spot, but
think about this. Think about this last week of games. 8 of the 13 before the primetime games before Monday Night Football were double-digit blowouts.
Yep.
I mean, it was a bad weekend for the NFL in regards to parity. And then if you want to say like the average margin of victory is usually 3 or 4 points, I want to say there was another 3 games that were basically like 6 points or more as far as the margin of difference. I mean, it was not a competitive week of football. It was
an awful week of football.
There's some of that too, maybe coming up here the next couple of weeks. You got some of those matchups. So I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not betting against the Packers.
No. Don't bet against the Packers. Yeah. Right. And if Debo points out to me that the Vikings have the hardest remaining schedule in the NFL. So really there's not a bet there. Let's keep moving. The NFC South. Also probably no value here as well. The Bucks are minus 650. The Saints are plus 575. The Panthers 24-1 and the Falcons 50-1. I believe instead of asking you if there's value, I'll just point out that I hope everyone listening to this podcast that gambles has a wager on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the NFC South, because I screamed it over and 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 over again before the season that anything less than minus 250 was a good bet. And it looks like it is in great shape.
And by the way, what were the odds preseason for that?
I got it minus 165.
There you go. And that's where, I mean, I think knowing all the change you're going to be having in New Orleans, knowing or not really knowing what was going to happen with Sam Darnold, which started off hot. Now he's kind of regressed back to maybe some of that play in the Jets. I think the Falcons are the most disappointing team, to be honest with you.
For
I mean, they're just awful. So again, not really a bet to be made here.
It's been a little bit better the last few weeks, but they're still.
I mean, unless you want to risk $650 to win 100, sure, go do it. But it's almost a guaranteed thing. I mean, it's guaranteed you're going to get that money back. I mean, that's the only thing is that if you don't mind that sort of return, if you're like willing to say, yeah, I'll risk $700, bucks for the Packers to get back 100 or $650 to get back 100. Like, that's fine if you got that sort of money to do that with. Like, that's not a bad ROI.
No, but it also means that you've got to take. I mean, let's say you're really rich and you wanted to win $10,000, or I mean, not really rich, but you have $70,000 to go take to a casino and plop down on the Packers to win $10,000. You're also putting $70,000 with a casino for the next 4 months, which, just
right. Yeah. Your IRR, is going to be driven down a little bit by that, but the reality is it's still at least
a good bet
too. Right. It's a good bet. It's a good investment if you, feel strongly about those teams on the other side of that bet. Yeah. And I don't know how many listeners have that sort of disposable income you're talking about.
I don't know how many of the hosts do either. Yeah. I was going to look to see if you could do I don't. Ooh, now will they let you do this? Oh, hello. So, okay, I can't believe this is correct, but Caesars on their website, you can parlay division futures. So we can bet on $100. How the hell is this correct? It's saying right now, if I bet 100, I see. You can bet Bills, Packers. We put their bucks in there too, because it's $100 to win $20. That's not really great. So there are bucks in there.
Bills, Packers, Bucks,
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
That
14
is
parlay win the division.
Parlay all four of those divisions. It is letting you do that. It's minus 179. I would bet that.
Love that.
Yeah,
I would bet that.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're putting, let's say you put, let's say you put down $358 on it, and you'll get paid back $557. So you'll basically make $200 that way if you had three. I would do that. I think those four teams are winning those divisions pretty handily.
Yeah, right. I'm with you on that.
The real donkey division bet from Brady and Brinson. Okay.
All right, let's get the NFC West, because the NFC West is the one there's value. I think it could be interesting.
It's the last one. Cardinals minus 120, Rams plus 140. The 49ers, my preseason pick to win the Super Bowl, 12-1 to win the division, and the Seahawks, the Russell Wilson, the Seahawks, 28-1 to win the division right now.
A lot of value to me for the Rams. Like, I think this is a no-brainer. I know they're not leading. I know the Cardinals look great, but you and I have talked about this before. I think our reservation with the Cardinals, and it has been, always will be until they prove otherwise, is just their ability to finish the season. And so the Rams are a game back? Is that right?
They are one game back. Cardinals undefeated. Rams, I guess they're a game and a half because they lost to the Cardinals.
We're a game and a half because they lost them, right? Yeah. So that's the only thing that you have to be kind of concerned by, is if the Arizona Cardinals do hold strong, and if they do kind of hold the momentum they've created so far, might be in some trouble. But to me, there's enough value there. And I think the Rams, the way they've played, and you'd think they're only going to get better the longer Stafford's there and working with these guys. So I love that bet. I think at plus 140, the Rams are at some solid value here. Because again, the more they play, it's only, that's going to go down. It's only going to get worse from here.
I agreed. And so let's just say, I'm going to ask you two questions about scheduling. Over the next 2 weeks, the Cardinals have the Texans, and then on Thursday, the Packers at home. Over the next 2 weeks, the Rams have the Lions at home and then at the Texans. I think there's a very good chance that we could see those two teams tied in first place, and at which point the Rams will be negative money. The Rams then play the Titans at home, and then the 49ers on the road. The Cardinals play the 49ers on the road and the Panthers at home. So, I mean, the Packers are the only – the 49ers will be tough because they're a division opponent. Kyle Shanahan's good.
Well, and Garoppolo will be back. Yeah. They always play.
But the Packers being thrown in there is a significant issue for the Cardinals. And Kyler Murray's been a little dinged up. Man, they do have the Cardinals have an easy schedule. At Seahawks, at Bears, Rams at home, at Lions, Colts at home, at Cowboys.
Again, it's not so much about that, because we've seen them get off to good starts and not finish. And they have like that Buffalo Bills moment where, I don't know how you felt on Monday night, but I'm watching it going, the Bills, the way they've played, have no business letting the Titans hang around this game.
And they did.
And they couldn't tackle Derrick Henry. And, you saw how the game ended. Like, that's one of those things where you just go, like, I don't know what the odds are for Kansas City to win, the AFC, but I would bet it, because every single time you think Buffalo's about ready to overcome or like take over them, they have a game like that, and you go, but there's that one game like that. And it kind of was scarring to me. I can't get out of the back of my mind. The Cardinals are like that too. There's going to be a game they lose, and we go, how the hell did they lose to that team? Like the Tennessee Titans. You're probably saying about the Titans. They lost to the Jets. That's the Jets only win this season. And you're not saying to yourself, like, wait, the Titans are probably going to win the AFC South, yet they lost to the Jets.
Beat the Bills, lost to the Jets. What are we doing?
Yeah. I think if you look at it that way, like that's my reservation with the Cardinals, is until we see them finish the season strong, you might as well bet on the Rams.
And here's another pretty good piece of evidence, in my opinion, on why you should bet on the Rams. If you go to Caesars, and you want to bet on Super Bowl odds to win the Super Bowl or odds to win the NFC, The Rams are 8.5 to 1 to win the Super Bowl and 4 to 1 to win the NFC. The Cardinals are 11 to 1 to win the Super Bowl and plus 525 to win the NFC. In other words, Caesars, aka Vegas, values the Rams more long term, and yet the Cardinals are favored to win the division because they have that head-to-head matchup. So I'm with you. I think we're in lockstep here. We got two stone cold Alaskan pipeline locks that we want to see.
Blue steel pipes.
That's right. Ice cold.
Heard that once.
Yeah. Me too.
Heard that once from O-line coach. Yeah. I'll tell you to you off the podcast. I don't think I can say it.
All right. So our three bets on the divisions are Packers, Bills, Bucks, Cowboys, division winner parlay, minus 179, 2 units there. Now, Brady and I are not in legal gambling states, so we're not actually placing this. But if we were, we would. And I can't do any parlaying of division winners where I am. But I will be betting the Chiefs because I already bet them at minus 125 a few weeks ago. And I will be betting the Rams because I'm a big Rams guy at plus 140. I think those two are really good bets at plus money.
Well, hold on. So are you out of the Steelers? Are you out of the Steelers?
You had Steelers too. No, but
you went through their schedule. Like, I'm just saying from a value standpoint, you can sprinkle a little bit, a little $10 bet. $10 bet.
Yeah, I'll drop. Yeah. $10 to win 180.
180. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind that. Yeah. Maybe even 25.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah,
don't get too crazy now. Yeah. Don't get too crazy.
Steelers 80 to 1 to win the Super Bowl.